This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Half the time when I drive at night, it's raining around here. I look at the street and those strips of tar are brighter than the paint lines.
Tonight, stay between the lines if you can see them. The mounting concerns over visibility for drivers at night.
Regionalization is not a small change or a small project. It is a massive change.
Exploring the idea of regional policing, a report obtained by CTV News explores how it could work. Plus, Adam finds out how a senior in Victoria was inspired by an unexpected discovery online to help a former Canadian Olympian in Japan. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Dull and chipping paint is causing concern for island drivers trying to stay inside the lines on the road at night and in the rain. Several years ago, environmental concerns led the province to change the type of paint it uses to guide the way for drivers. As CTV's Brendan Strain shows us, the paint is not reflective enough, making it rather pointless to some.
I'm hearing from a lot of people that this is a problem. So I'm getting emails and hearing it in conversations when I have coffee with people.
It's an issue that Victoria City Councillor Dave Thompson says he has experienced himself.
They are less able to see the lines on the road than they used to be.
Particularly at night, and it's even worse in the rain.
I look at the street and those strips of tar are brighter than the paint lines.
The issue is that the road safety engineers and painting crews have gone to a less toxic chemical for the paint, which is not nearly as visible.
In 2010, the federal government discontinued the use of oil-based paints across the country due to concerns around the environment, as well as worker exposure to the volatile organic compounds.
I myself have found myself on the other side of the road or in the wrong lane because I can't see the lines at certain times of night.
Driving columnist and retired Victoria police officer John Ducker says it has turned into a safety concern.
You wonder where the lines of safety meet on this. Is like, if you can't see it, are you actually more safe? Or, can we tolerate a certain level of proper chemical to make sure that our road lines are visible?
BC's Ministry of Transportation's website says, we hear a lot of opinions about those old paints, and we understand the nostalgia. However, the fact remains they're no longer available to us. The ministry says it's been testing and refining paint formulas, as well as adding a variety of reflective glass beads that are put down with the paint in order to make the lines more visible. The province says each year it paints more than 20,000 kilometers of highways and provincially owned side roads.
Right now, we're repainting twice a year in the spring and fall.
Thompson says Victoria has roughly 300 kilometers of roadways within its borders.
If we could cut down the frequency of painting, that would save us some money.
Thompson has written to Victoria MP Will Greaves, stressing the concerns around the paint that is being used on the roads.
And said, could you please pass along these concerns to the government? Because it is a federal regulation that controls the paint types.
That email was penned a few weeks back, although so far, no reply from the federal member of parliament. Thompson says he isn't giving up.
I sent a little nudge saying, if I'm going to hear back, when do you think it'll be?
Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
The price at the pump continues to take consumers on a wild ride and is leading to calls from several unions to allow employees to save their cash and the country's fuel supply by working from home. The price swings are impacted by uncertainty about the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran, and experts predict it could take a while for supply to recover, even if the war ends soon. Recently, the International Energy Agency sent out a list of recommendations governments can take to alleviate the toll it is taking on consumers. One of them is allowing people to work from home. One of BC's largest unions, the BC General Employees Union, says it's currently drafting a pitch to the province asking it to take action to reduce costs for employees like working from home.
I think that there's a bigger conversation here, and that's when we have these spikes in energy prices, really they're impacting affordability quite sharply. And we think the province needs to coordinate with the federal government to try and roll out temporary relief for, workers who obviously are taking a hit in their take-home pay due to these high energy prices.
Earlier this week, the Canadian Association of Professional Employees, one of the largest federal public service unions in Canada, called for the federal government to implement the recommendation for people to work from home. CTV News has obtained a 234-page report which delves into the controversial concept of regional policing. It's a subject we've been investigating in recent months as municipal leaders ask the province to explore whether shifting to that model would be a good move. CTV's Anna McMillan reports the answer may lie in evidence that doesn't exist.
Significant shift.
Esquimalt Mayor and 3 of her South Island counterparts are waiting to hear back from the province on their request to examine whether regional policing could work in Greater Victoria.
We have heard nothing at all from the Solgen. By the end of February, everyone had submitted their letters.
The mayors of Esquimalt, Victoria, Oak Bay and Saanich met with the public safety minister in November to share their differing opinions on uniting the region's patchwork of municipal police departments.
It's actually the first time the 4 core municipalities actually sat in a room and talked about it with the minister.
Prior to that meeting, Barbara Desjardins wishes she'd been made aware of a comprehensive report on regional policing. CTV News obtained the discussion paper through a Freedom of Information request. It was prepared for the BC Municipal Police Chiefs Association in 2024.
We make no recommendations. That was not our mandate. If the province decided to pull the pin on this and go, we're doing it, this document could be a resource.
Josh Murphy is one of the researchers behind the paper, which explores feasibility and potential models. He says the province should prepare to pivot because the current policing system is strained.
It is heavily fragmented. This might be the worst model we have.
BC has 12 municipal departments, 1 Indigenous police service, a transit police service, and the RCMP. As a result, the paper says there are disparities in policing resources, competition for recruits, inconsistent policies and training, and coordination challenges for crimes that cross jurisdictional borders.
Police agencies are doing their best to deal, some better than others, but I don't know if it's really what's best for ultimately public safety and community health and well-being in the province.
He says arguments claiming regionalization would or wouldn't work better are often based on conjecture.
We're in the dark in terms of an evidence base.
Saanich's police chief says that's why he can't form an opinion on the model.
There's too much at stake to make a knee-jerk reaction to feel there's going to be a fix-all solution that's going to make policing better in Greater Victoria.
He says residents are accustomed to their current policing services and their opinions are paramount.
It is a massive change that will impact lives both within the service and the communities and residents.
In the upcoming municipal elections, it's expected there will be a ballot question about whether the municipalities of Victoria and Saanich should amalgamate.
Until that time, we won't have a clear idea of where residents sit with this question.
For Desjardins, the looming election is a clock ticking down on the regionalization conversation.
Because the closer we're getting to election, the less likely something is going to occur, or the more dynamic that the conversation will be through election.
She hopes the province will signal whether it wants to explore the model further soon. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Esquimalt.
A humanitarian team from Vancouver Island is about to depart on its 5th mission to Ukraine. And thanks to a donation from a Vancouver-based medical equipment company, as well as a private donor here on the island, soldiers in 2 military hospitals will receive better care. Delphi Medical Innovations has donated a surgical tourniquet kit that restricts blood flow to a limb during an operation. They're also including a number of emergency tourniquets to be used by medics on the front lines of the war. For soldiers recovering from a serious injury, Delphi has also provided a tourniquet that's used in the rehab process. It restricts blood flow to a limb while putting stress on the muscle, allowing the user to lift lighter weights while still increasing muscle mass.
Pneumatic tourniquets are superior to the rope and stick tourniquets that are often used in the military, and they're narrow, is that there's less possibility of nerve damage when you're using the cuff, and also you get much better occlusion of larger limbs.
A private donor from the West Shore has also stepped up, purchasing a second kit, which costs about $7,000 for another military hospital in the west of Ukraine.
We're acutely aware of the number of amputations that are occurring, both civilians and military personnel in Ukraine. The tourniquet equipment will be used both on the front line as well as in the operating rooms when the surgeons are dealing with these traumatic injuries.
The company specializes in personalized tourniquet technology, which is used around the world, including the U.S. military, professional sports teams, and most recently by astronauts on a SpaceX mission. The city of Nanaimo is putting the call out to artists to have their work be displayed next year during a popular biannual winter festival. Luminous Paths is a celebration of light, art, land, and community. Now it's going into its third year of planning. The temporary light-based public art installations are lit up along a path through Maffeo Sutton Park downtown. Interested artists and creative teams are now invited to submit proposals to the city for next year. Art pieces are encouraged to have elements like light, sound, and motion to make the display an engaging outdoor experience for nighttime viewing. Deadline for submissions is June 14th, and the selected proposals will be announced this summer.
11 degrees in Victoria right now under mostly cloudy skies. We get to 12 for a daytime high today. Should be a decent start to the weekend in Victoria, and then some showers in the forecast for early Sunday. We'll take a closer look at that and the forecast for the rest of the island right after the break.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
Josh joins us now. I believe you said it would be a decent start to the weekend, so I feel like I want to hear more about that before you get to the rain.
Yeah, I mean, temperatures are going to be a couple of degrees cooler than what we saw today. We get to 12 for a daytime high today. We'll be about 10 tomorrow, so it's still pretty close to average. Sunday morning is the best chance for rain in Victoria, although it may kind of linger into the afternoon hours, and we'll see rain tomorrow for other parts of the island. It's 10 right now in Comox, a little breezy there, 5 in Port Hardy, and Nanaimo still at 12 degrees right now. We've had a few scattered showers, but for the most part, just mostly cloudy skies across the island. Watch what happens overnight tonight, though. You do have a band of some showers that kind of fizzles out from Comox back towards Tofino areas through sort of the mid to late evening hours. And then for tomorrow, I really think in Victoria, you're just looking at a mix of sun and cloud. And further north, you might see a couple spotty showers, but really nothing all that heavy. Here comes the next system, though, for Sunday. And so southern parts of the West Coast and in Victoria, we've got some rain to start the day on Sunday. No heavy rain, but rain in the area, and then it kind of tapers off in the afternoon hours. In the north, partly cloudy, 7 degrees tomorrow, mixed sun and cloud, and 8 on Sunday. Looks pretty dry until the middle of next week. Temperatures staying slightly cooler than average, though. Inland areas, that slight chance of a shower early tomorrow morning. Most of tomorrow, though, just mixed sun and cloud, high of about 9. And then in the afternoon on Sunday, you might see a scattered shower. But again, most of the daytime hours should be dry, sunnier, and a little warmer on Monday. Out of the West Coast, mixed sun and cloud, high of 9. Sunday morning, you get a chance of some showers. Clearing in the afternoon, though, high of 8. And then in the 9 or 10 range for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Comox, 8s and 9s for the next 4 days. Mixed sun and cloud tomorrow. Mostly cloudy on Sunday. There is a slight chance you might see a little scattered shower late in the day Sunday, but I think for the most part, you'll stay dry. Sunshine and 9 on Monday. In Nanaimo, mixed sun and cloud, high of 10 tomorrow. 9 and mostly cloudy on Sunday. Again, you might get grazed with a few hit and miss showers early Sunday, but for most of the daytime hours, just mostly cloudy. Sunshine and 9 on Monday, and in Victoria, 5 degrees tomorrow morning. A little breezy, wind out of the west, 20, gusting at times to around 30 kilometers per hour, high of 10. Cooling off to 7 on Sunday with that chance of showers, especially through the first half of the day, kind of tapering off a little bit later in the afternoon, and then sunshine for Monday. Temperatures do stay on the cool side, though, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with highs in that 8-9 degree range. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So a little bit of a cool down and a little wetter on Sunday.
All right, thanks, Josh. The Artemis 2 mission is closer than it's ever been. The astronauts have arrived in Florida, aiming for liftoff as soon as Wednesday. CTV's Heather Wright has the story.
The crew of Artemis 2 touched down in Florida this afternoon, gearing up for launch day, which could come as soon as Wednesday.
We're all fired up to go do this, so Alonzi.
Canadian Jeremy Hansen is among the astronauts that will take off from the Kennedy Space Center, the first crewed mission of the Orion spacecraft, and the first crew to go to the moon since Apollo 17 in 1972. This mission has not been without setbacks. It's years behind schedule, over budget, and 2 launch attempts this year have been scrapped.
We often say, failure is not an option, but I think it is often misunderstood. It's not that we never fail, it's that we don't quit when we fail.
While the crew will not land on the lunar surface, they could travel deeper in space than anyone before them, as they take a free turn trajectory around the moon and back to Earth.
There's no guarantee we will, but if we do, we should celebrate the pioneers who came before us that put us in this position to be breaking a record like that. And then we should, throw that out to the next generation to say, hey, let's go even further.
Going further is NASA's plan, with discussions about building a moon base to launch further exploration of the solar system.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's been our motto from the beginning. And you feel that right now with the sustainable lunar base, habitat, architecture, and kind of the test, fly, test, develop approach. We have been missing that for a long time, and we are very happy to have that back.
And part of this mission will also be reestablishing knowledge of the moon. Because a crew has not been there in more than 50 years, some of that knowledge has been lost, with the hope being that moon missions become more frequent in the future. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, collection reconnection. Adam finds out how a shocking discovery online inspired a Victoria man to make a meaningful connection with an Olympian. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Virgin Radio is Victoria's #1 hit music station. Home of Bailey and Johnny in the morning. Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to 107.3 Virgin Radio everywhere.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
107.3 Virgin Radio morning host Johnny Novak has found a window into our history.
Here's a fun game to play with the kids if you're looking for something to do over spring break. It's called Can You Find the Old Hitch Posts Around Victoria? I'm on Linden Street between Richardson and Rockland here in Fairfield, and I'm standing by one of the last hitch posts in Victoria. See, back in the day before cars, when horses were everywhere, here's where you would hook up your horse so it wouldn't run away. Now, I have been told there are a few others around Victoria, so can you find them?
Finally, Adam finds out how a Victoria senior was inspired by an unexpected discovery to help a former Olympian on this Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
John Watt was searching online for classic cars when he happened upon the sale of vintage sports memorabilia.
It was, wow, I was shocked.
It was Olympic uniforms and international accolades.
And I go, what the heck? It's Gary Beacon. I saw him skate, and he was unbelievable.
Although Gary Beacon was one of our country's top figure skaters, winning world championships before touring the globe as a popular professional, it was someone unrelated to him selling all the stuff.
The first reaction was to secure it. I wanted to protect it.
And then what was the second thought?
Get it to Gary.
Do you know him?
No.
It just felt like the right thing to do, John says. So he bought the box full of athletic history, including Team Canada clothes, dozens of badges and medals, and started searching for Gary across Canada and the U.S. before finally tracking him down in Japan.
Thank you, John Watt. Yes, it's really nice and it's touching.
Gary says the stuff was likely misplaced during his parents' estate sale and is grateful to see it again.
It brings up some nice memories.
Past pride and appreciation, tempered by a present perspective.
Things look so funny. It's kind of out of style.
It's timeless.
It's timeless. It is timeless.
And it is filled with meaning, John says. as he prepares to send the memorabilia back to Gary.
I recognize the effort, the sacrifice.
But Gary recognizes that earning this stuff also required one to be sort of selfish. And the 65-year-old, who now coaches and teaches along with still skating daily, has learned that achieving a happy life requires you to be more selfless.
Sharing of your time or your resources or your knowledge or whatnot.
Which is why this world-class athlete says he's thankful to the efforts of a world-class guy who may have paid hundreds to secure Gary's stuff, but is giving it all back to him for free.
It's not really an effort, it's just a thought in your brain to be considerate, to be kind, and be generous.
Adam Swatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by Coastal Community Credit Union. Bank happy at Coastal Community Credit Union.
Be considerate, be kind, and be generous. Words to enter the weekend on. That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.